somebody had told me 2 weeks ago I'd be making love to you today, I would have said they were crazy.
Me too. 2 weeks ago, I was...
We were making wedding plans. With Kyle.
I don't want to talk about that now.
We don't have to talk about anything.
Wait. Josh.
What?
So much is happening between us so fast.
We've been in love since we were 17 years old. And do you remember the first time I brought you up here?
Lots happened since.
Do you remember that first summer? When we started going together?
You kept ignoring me.
So you thought you'd get back at me by running away?
Oh, I was just trying to teach you a lesson.
You did a wonderful job. HB was so worried about you, he called the sheriff.
There I was, sitting up in that big old tree, scared to death to come down for fear I'd catch hell.
Which you did, as I recall.
At least I found out just how much you cared.
I still care. What's wrong?
Maybe the reason we're together is because we're in this place. With all the memories and the magic. Maybe that's what's making it so right when...
Oh, it is right. You knew that last night, and you know it now.
Just have to try to figure out where I go from here. I have to try and think clearly. Away from you, away from this place. I have to go back to Springfield.
Back to Kyle.
I object, Your Honor. Mr. Gallagher is obviously slanting his testimony in favor of Miss Stoddard. It's extremely prejudicial to my client.
Spare me your courtroom theatrics, Mr. Blake. This goes for you too, Mr. Carson. We are not holding an audition for the part of Clarence Darrow. This is not even a formal trial. It is a hearing. There is no jury to impress. The only concern any of us should have is the welfare of this child. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Honor. Of course, Your Honor.
I'm perfectly capable of balancing both sides to get at the truth. That is what I am paid to do. And some say I do it quite well.
No offense meant, Your Honor.
None taken. May I ask your client a question, Mr. Sampson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perhaps you would tell me in your own terms why you put your own son up for adoption.
It's obvious the man has no regard for the well-being of his child.
Mr. Carson, I asked Mr. Sampson.
I'd be happy to answer the question, Your Honor. I thought you knew. It was the most agonizing moment of my life when I found out I had given up my own son.
You make it sound as if you didn't know what you were doing.
I had no idea that Ben was my boy.
But that's impossible. Your son is 9 months old.
I'm sorry, Maeve. Your Honor, my wife, that is, my ex-wife, had told me that our child was dead.
Is this true?
Yes, it is.
I knew that if I told Kyle that he had a son, he would take him away from me. Don't you see, I was trapped.
Your Honor, what my client is trying to say is that she realizes now that she was wrong.
I had no choice.
Sit down, Mr. Carson. I should like to hear this in Miss Stoddard's own words.
Easy.
Your Honor, I know that what I did was a terrible thing. It was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. But I honestly felt that there was no alternative.
Why is that?
For many reasons. For one thing, he was in love with another woman.
I object, Your Honor.
Please, Mr. Blake, continue, Miss Stoddard.
He had been obsessed with this other woman for a long time before we were married.
Well, Why did you marry him?
Because I loved him, and because he convinced me that things would change. It took me a while before I realized that all he really wanted from me was the child I was carrying.
What happened?
He became more and more preoccupied with my pregnancy. He was concerned about my health. I began to feel that he was just waiting for me to have this baby, and that then he would take it away from me and raise it with this other woman. I know him well enough. I know from past experience that he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, and he's never wanted anything as much as he's wanted this.
Go on, please.
The night that Benjamin was born, I was extremely upset. I had seen Kyle and this other woman together. I was scared. I didn't know where to turn. I felt alone. And that's when I made the decision. I knew that if I told Kyle the truth, that I would never see my baby again.
The lie you chose to tell could lose you your baby now.
Your Honor, I tried to tell Kyle many times about the baby, but every time I started to, he would threaten me or my friends, or he'd threaten to take the newspaper away from me.
So you took Kyle's son away from him?
Your Honor, please, I would like to have permission to put in my 2 cents right about here.
What is your connection to the case, Mr.
Reed, Fletcher Reed. I'm Miss Stoddard's managing editor at the paper, and everything she has said is true. However, what she hasn't told you is that Kyle Sampson is a cold-blooded, calculating manipulator who tries to control everything and everybody he comes in contact with.
Your Honor,
That's enough, Mr. Reed.
I'd like to point out, Your Honor, that Mr. Reed has more than a professional relationship with Miss Stoddard. I can hardly think that his opinion of my client counts very much.
It is true that I do love Miss Stoddard. But it is also true, everything that has been said, and I can bring in a flock of witnesses to prove it.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Reed. Now, just one more thing, Miss Stoddard. Did Kyle Sampson ever take direct action to harm you or Ben?
Physically. No. He knew that the best way to hurt me was by denying me the divorce, which he did for months until he finally used it to steal my child.
Your Honor, I would like to respond to this accusation.
Please.
I took Ben from Maeve while she was lying helpless in a hospital in Mexico. She couldn't care for herself, much less care for the infant that she had left behind with a babysitting service. And this wasn't the first time that she had collapsed either.
Would you elaborate, Mr. Sampson?
There were several incidents in the preceding few months where Maeve's behavior was completely irrational. I was concerned about her mental health. I wasn't sure that she should be around a young child.
Well, did you speak to her about your concern?
Well, I tried a number of times, but she wouldn't listen to me. She seemed obsessed with the boy, and that didn't seem healthy. And so I sought professional advice. I spoke with doctors, with lawyers. I even spoke with a cardinal of the church. They all told me the same thing.
Which was?
That something had to be done to protect the child. I acted in good faith when I gave Ben to the authorities.
That is a lie. You took Ben to punish me because you're a cruel, vindictive person.
Stoddard,
No,
please,
please let me speak, Your Honor. You're being had. This is an incredible performance by a man.
Enough, Miss Stoddard. You have had your say. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Mr. Sampson?
Yes, there was one thing. All this would have been unnecessary. We wouldn't be here today if Maeve had told me the truth in the beginning. But she waited until I was about to begin a new life. And then she used the truth to hurt me once again. She used it to destroy my wedding.
So, still love Kyle?
Love doesn't just die overnight. If anyone should know that, it should be us.
It's very true. Ours seems to be the kind of love that lasts forever, one way or another.
Like I already told you, Joshua, I can't go back to Kyle. Not ever. It's over, but that doesn't mean that I can come running to you either. I have a lot of things I have to straighten out first. My
I'm not
life,
asking
for
you
instance.
to come to me. Not now.
You're not?
No, I am not. I've got a few things I've got to take care of on my own, remember?
I know, and I know what you're planning to do, and I don't like it one bit.
Well, I really don't have much of a choice. I mean, I got to find out who's trying to kill me.
It's too dangerous.
It's going to be more dangerous if I don't.
I'm serious, Joshua. The more I think about it, the more I think you should come back to Springfield with me.
Reva, I told you.
I don't care what you told me. You shouldn't be alone right now. You need your family. You have to tell HB and
Damn
Billy.
it, Reva, I thought we talked about this. We've been over it a dozen times. We're going to have to settle it one way or the other, or we're not going to have to worry about us getting back together. Not now, not ever. Either you believe in me, or you don't. Which is it?
Why do you always have to make a fight out of everything?
Why does it take you so long to admit I'm right, huh?
Ow! Because I'm afraid for you. That is the only reason why I want you to tell HB.
Oh,
and
really?
Billy.
Is that it?
Joshua, I know you can take care of yourself. And I believe in you more now than ever. And I don't want you to ever doubt that, not for a second. Even if things don't work out.
Whoa, wait, whoa. Do not talk like that. Last night meant something.
Now we just have to figure out what.
Relax. Hitmen don't usually knock.
Right.
Hey, howdy,
Sheriff
Jeff.
Bob, hi.
Oh, Reva, hi.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
As you can see, I am in very capable hands.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can leave you in the arms of the law. Take care of yourself.
You too.
I will.
All right. Well, sorry I came at a bad time.
It's no problem. But tell me, what'd you find out about the guy who tried to kill me?
Yeah, not very much. His car was registered under the name of J. Smith, but I ran his fingerprints through Central in Washington.
And?
His real name is Charles Pierce. He has a long string of petty arrests, but nothing really significant.
Great. Another dead end.
No, not quite. There was one thing. Found this in his pocket. It's a return airline ticket.
Mr. Venezuela.
Do not include marriage at this time, is that correct?
No, not at this time. But I will give Ben a secure and extremely loving home.
Thank you. I'd like to know what kind of a home you intend to provide for Ben should you get custody.
Certainly.
You mentioned that you were about to be married.
Well, yes, naturally, there was a postponement. My fiancée was, I think, understandably upset by what happened in the church. But we're going to reschedule our wedding very shortly.
I wouldn't count on that.
Mr. Reed, I have warned you before. One more remark like that and I'll ask you to leave.
Well, just for the record, I think it's safe to say that my fiancée confides in me quite a bit more than she might in Fletcher Reed.
How does your fiancée feel about your son, Mr. Sampson?
Reva adores Ben. She's cared for him before, and the two of them get along famously. I know that she's going to want very much to have Ben be a part of her life.
Then you hope to be a two-parent family.
Absolutely. I love my son more than anything else in the world. I want a chance to show him that, to make up for some of the time that I lost.
Your Honor, excuse me, but this man is giving you the wrong impression.
Well, that's enough, Miss Stoddard. You have had your say. And now Mr. Sampson has had his. If you'll excuse me, I need some time to make my decision.
Benjamin. Hi, baby.
Yeah, hello, is that you, Harry?
Yeah, is that you, Louis? Speak up, I can hardly hear you.
Is this better?
Yeah, you know, it's about time you called. Where the devil have you been?
I've had a little trouble getting to a phone.
You better get your butt back down here fast.
Is there something going on?
Yeah, there's this Interpol guy who keeps coming around. I think he might be able to help figure out what's been going on.
Well, does he know anything about the explosion that killed Kurt?
Well, he hinted he did, in a certain way. He's a German guy, Gerhard, I think. Can I tell him you're coming?
Yeah. I'm on my way.
Kyle? Kyle? We're doing fine so far. Don't blow it now. We don't want a scene outside the judge's chamber.
Yes, darling, be patient. Now, just be patient. Maeve won't have Ben for long.
I wish I was as confident as you are.
I've made my decision. Cases like this are very, very difficult. Determining custody is a great and solemn responsibility with only one criterion: the welfare of the child. Someone is inevitably hurt. It is my job to be sure that that person isn't the child. I've decided to award sole custody to the father, Kyle Sampson. It's my opinion that the mother at this time hasn't shown sufficient emotional stability to be the best guardian at the time. Moreover, to grant custody to Miss Stoddard would be condoning what she did, which is legally tantamount to kidnapping. Limited visitation rights are awarded the mother. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll take my son, please.